Faster, my good evening and welcome to the Manx Radio Folk Show with me, John Barker, playing you the best in folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and from all around the world. And in tonight's show, we've got new tracks from a Manx singer-songwriter and a chat with the one and only Martin Simpson. But we start tonight with a track from the Urban Folk Quartet. This is Long Time Traveller / Heading Home.
I'm a long time travelling here below, gonna lay this body down. When I can read my titles clear from mansions in the sky, I'll bid farewell to every fear and wipe my weeping eye. I'm a long time travelling here below, a long time a travelling away from my home. Long time travelling here below, gonna lay this body down. May tears like wild deluge come, and storms of sorrow fall. May I but safely reach my home, my God, my heaven and all. I'm a long time travelling here below, a long time a travelling away from my home. Long time travelling here below, gonna lay this body down. There I shall bathe my weary soul in seas of heavenly rest, and not a wave of trouble roll across my peaceful breast. Oh, I'm a long time travelling here below, a long time a travelling away from my home. Long time travelling here below, gonna lay this body down. I'm a long time travelling here below, a long time a travelling away from my home. Long time travelling here below, gonna lay this body down. I'm a long time travelling here below, a long time a travelling away from my home. Long time a travelling away. I'm gonna lay this body down.
The always brilliant Urban Folk Quartet. On that particular track, the vocals led by our good friend Dan Walsh, who I'm very much hoping is returning in May next year to the island. That's a long way off though. Lots of great music to come on the island before then. Of course, we're in the middle of Incruniac at the moment, so do look at the programme and listen to last week's show for all the things that are happening there, in Peel and in Douglas, as part of Incruniac. There's plenty to keep you busy. While I'm talking about local music, the usual sessions will be taking place as well. So Wednesday night at O'Donnell's, Friday night at the Mitre in Ramsey, and there will be a Sunday afternoon session, but I'm not sure where that is because I'm recording this a little bit ahead of time. Also the Folk Club in Ramsey on Thursday night. Let's have some tunes from Matt Malloy and Donald Lunny from an album just called Matt Malloy from 1976. This is The Boys of the Loch and the Tar Bolton. Now, I said at the start of the show we were going to have some music from a Manx singer-songwriter, and that person is Colin Banks-Jones. I've known Colin for many years, having taught him up at QE2, and he's releasing a 4-track studio EP supported by the Isle of Man Arts Council called Revolutions. It's a collection of tracks that he wrote over a 5-year period while he was cycling through the Americas, which was a fantastic undertaking by Colin, and it's about the various things he came across and experienced. It's released on the 1st of August on all streaming services and Bandcamp. He's going to be performing the songs live from 1 p.m. on the Peel Beach stage on the 1st of August. And he says while meeting various people from all walks of life, it became a common occurrence that people would say that they wish that they had done something similar to Colin's trip when they were younger. And when he asked them why they never did it, it would always be a similar story of the time wasn't right, or it could wait till the next year but never ended up happening. So he wrote Slow Down as a reminder that life doesn't last forever and we decide when and what adventures we have.
Slow down, everybody just slow down. Can't you see we're running from ourselves? Time falls, only messages and phone calls are all we do all day while we waste away. If you want to live your dreams, then take it from me that you don't have to wait for them to start. To follow your heart, follow your mind, give your dreams just a little more life. Learn what you want, then focus your time. Live your dreams, never leave them behind. Never leave them behind. Lights out, everybody's in the dark now, looking for the light that won't be found. Days gone, regrets and memories will live on, remembering what we've done with our lives. If you want to change your life, then open your eyes, for you just have to take it by the hand and follow your heart, follow your mind. Give your dreams just a little more life. Learn what you want, then focus your time. Live your dreams, never leave them behind. Never leave them behind. Follow your heart, follow your mind. Give your dreams just a little more life. Learn what you want, then focus your time. Live your dreams, never leave them behind. Never leave them behind.
So that's Colin Banks-Jones from his new EP Revolutions that's released at the weekend. And another track from that later in the show. Let's have something from Fluke in the meantime. This is a track called Wrong Foot Forward. So that was the brilliant Anglo-Irish band Fluke. They've been around for over 30 years now, having formed in 1995 and indeed released an album last year. But that was from a 2005 album called Haven. Now I'm actually recording this show a little bit ahead of time, in fact on Monday the 20th of July. And this past weekend we've had an amazing time in the company of the one and only Martin Simpson. He played at the Institute on Friday night, and before his ferry home on Saturday, we had a lovely time showing him around parts of the island he'd not been to before, including the Manx Birdlife Reserve at the Point of Ayre. So thanks to Ali for showing us around. I'm always rushing around on gig weekends, and so it's great when Jo Garvin offers to interview our guest, which she did a little bit before Martin took to the stage on Friday evening. Before we hear that chat, here's a track from Martin from an album called True Stories from 2009. And on here, he plays with a fantastic band, including two regular visitors to the island, Andy Seward and Keith Angel, on bass and drums respectively, along with the amazing pedal steel player, BJ Cole, and melodeon player Andy Cutting. This track is called An Englishman Abroad.
Funeral, old Miss Drew is bouncing through the quarter. Henry hurries to the bar down there on Decatur. The morning stinks of last night's fun, the morning sidewalk's sticky. Henry Jane smokes Camel Light, sucks down his second Dixie. Dear boy, they just don't understand me. How could they? They've not seen the things that I've seen. Even then, why should they believe me? They look at me now, not at what I have been. Dear boy, we lived in Paris. I bought Lily a piano for the place in Montmartre. They look at me now, and I know they despise me, but what can they know of the love in my heart? Charity, we carry her up the stairs. Henry, he's too old to help, and he just stands and swears. Someday soon she won't come back, nothing is more certain. And I shall be a lonely actor waiting for the curtain. Dear boy, at the Pussycat she worked for Miss Dixie. Some people thought she was one of the girls. You should have seen us, so handsome, so pretty. She was always my Lily, the flower of my world. Dear boy, why do you come back here? The world is your oyster. What makes you stay? One morning we wake up and age has us prisoner. If it wasn't for Lily, I'd be far away. Hustlers hustle frat boys who are chasing down cheap thrills. They fry their brains with hurricanes and they pay with sweaty bills. Disco blares from double play, there's a shuffle and a second line beat. And Henry shambles back again along Decatur Street.
Martin, first time on the Isle of Man?
No, I've been here. I was just talking with John, actually, trying to remember how many times I've been here. But I've been here wearing all kinds of different hats over the years, solo and with Martin Taylor and with my band at one point, which was quite a large band with bass and drums and pedal steel guitar and Andy Cutting on the box and all sorts. So it was great fun. It was very unwieldy, but it was amazing to come over here and be able to play, you know, for the people over here with that, because we didn't do that many gigs, because basically it was a very expensive unit to run, you know.
You've had collaborations with quite a few people, haven't you?
I have had collaborations with a lot of people, yeah. I'm in a very interesting place at the moment because I have a new record coming out in September, and it's actually 50 years since my first record came out, which I find very unlikely because I'm only 28, clearly. So, no, but it's fabulous to you know, to be in this position. So this new record is called Some Kind of Jubilee. It's me with Louis Campbell, who is a brilliant young guitar player. He's 25, and my friend Liz Hanks, who's cellist, and Zach Hobbs, who's Richard Thompson's grandson on guitar also, and Ben Nichols on bass, and Greg Leese, who is my favourite pedal steel player in the history of the universe. He plays on about half of the album. So we recorded half of it in Yorkshire and half of it in Santa Monica at Jackson Brown's studio, because Jackson said, well, come and use the studio for free and then you can work with Greg. So that was very nice.
How did you get into the business?
When I was 12 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. Basically, I got a guitar and I sat down on Christmas Day with my guitar, which I'd been begging for at least 2 years at that point. And I played it for the first time and just thought, well, that's it, really. That's it. That's what I want to do. And so I started playing. I was very fortunate because this was the middle 60s, and so the folk club boom was enormous. There were folk clubs springing up all over the place, and I lived in Scunthorpe, it had a very good folk club, so everybody came to play there. And I got to sit there in the front row, staring incredibly hard. I mean, I must have scared people to death, I think, in hindsight. I just thought, well, this is it. This is what I want to do. So I started to teach the guitar when I was 15 or 16 because I wanted to be a professional musician. So I thought, well, I'll make some money teaching. Not a lot, needless to say. But then I'd get gigs whenever I possibly could, and well, I made my first record when I was 22, and then all the things happened that happened. You know, I got together with June Tabor, and we worked together for 10 years, and that was fantastic because June is such a great singer and such a singular artist. You know, so I would sit there listening to her, and she didn't have any sense of. Her musical background was listening to unaccompanied singing, so if you were going to accompany her, you damn well had to listen. Because she'd sing one verse this way and then the next verse, because one of the lines was longer, it would completely break time, and so you'd have to learn it all and listen, learn it and get it right.
Let's interrupt the chat between Joe and Martin with a track from the classic June Tabor and Martin Simpson album, A Cut Above from 1980. This is Flash Company.
Oh, it's once I loved Thomas, and then I loved John. Then I loved William, he's a clever young man, with his white cotton stockings and his low ankle shoes, and he wears a blue jacket wherever he goes. So it's tie a yellow handkerchief in remembrance of me, wear it around your neck, my love, in Flash Company. Flash Company, me boys, like so many more. If it hadn't been for Flash Company, I'd never have been so bored.
delight. Keeping flash company, it has ruined me quite. It has ruined me quite, me boys, like a craven anymore. If it hadn't been for flash company, I'd never have been so poor. So it's time a yellow handkerchief in remembrance of me. Wear it around your neck, my love, in flash company. Flash company, me boys, like so many more. If it hadn't been for flash company, I'd never have been so poor. Oh, it's one side of colour, I'm as red as the rose. Now I'm as pale as the lily that grows, like a flower in the garden, all my colour has gone. Don't you see what I have come to by loving such a one? So it's tie a yellow handkerchief in remembrance of me. Wear it around your neck, my love, in flash company. Flash company, me boys, like so many more. If it hadn't been for flash company, I'd never have been so poor.
Was there anyone particular who influenced you as a young player?
There were so many people that influenced me as a young player, because I had two elder brothers, and so I grew up listening to my mother's records. Paul Robeson was the first person that I heard singing "Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child," which is the first tune I'm going to play tonight, because I remember listening to it and just feeling so much. And I was 4 years old probably, and the sense of magic that this person whose voice was coming off a piece of black shellac going round at high speed could make me feel this extraordinary sense of melancholy, which I loved, and I've joked about it a million times, but it's true, it made me want to make people cry for a living, and so that's what I do, really.
So then did you start writing your own stuff?
I did. I was growing up listening to Bob Dylan and Jackson Browne and Joni Mitchell and you name it. And so I wrote some songs and then looked at them and went, oh, come on, this is awful. And so I didn't write for a long time. And then I started to write again. And I just had a bit of a revelation about it, because I got commissioned to do this song for the BBC 21st Century Folk thing on Radio 2. So I got to play for 6 million people last week or the week before on the lunchtime BBC Radio 2 show, 6 million people, it's kind of cool. And in the light of that, writing that song, I thought, well, I've written a few songs, and on my way back on the train I was sitting there and I started to write them down. The ones that I wrote to start with were pretty awful.
So where are we going from here? What's the summer plan?
Summer's quite quiet. I'm going on holiday to Sidmouth Folk Festival, which I love to do. My wife and daughter, Kit and Molly, we go to Sidmouth and we have a nice time, and I do one gig, and we hang around for a week and walk up and down and enjoy and meet friends, and a couple more, not a lot of gigs. And then September the album comes out, and then it goes nuts, basically. Just up until the first week in December. Lots of gigs.
Good nuts, though.
Good nuts, great nuts. I really need it, yeah.
So that was Joe Garvin having a chat with Martin Simpson before his gig on the island on the 17th of July. Now, you won't have been one of those 6 million people listening to Radio 2, will you? Because you'll be listening to Manx Radio. So you won't have heard the song The Hand of Kindness, brackets Adrian's song. Martin has now released it online, so I'll play it for you now. You can hear the whole story behind the song and the people it involves on that other station if you so wish. It is a very moving story that he told us on the night as well.
1956. His mother came from Ireland, his father from Jamaica. They hadn't been together long. And in those unforgiving times, he didn't find a welcome until those with love and open hearts gave him a helping hand. It was the hand of kindness. It was not a gentle, caring hand that took him from his mother, like many thousand others. Beneath those scowling walls, young women shamed and punished, they watched their babies taken. Now too late apologies, too little too late for all. Susie stitched and glued the gloves, fixed and fed the leather, a gift from son to father to remind him of a brother, embraced within the family's heart, given love and safety. Adrian took the hand of kindness and he learned to pay it on. On that cruel Christmas morning, Adrian was walking home to his birth mother with his blood brother newly found. And they came across a woman, she was stranded by the roadside. So they stopped to change her tire, just to lend a helping hand. It was the hand of kindness. I think there are few saints these days, perhaps we all are sinners. Those with love and open hearts can turn losers into winners. Adrian was a fine young man who took the hand of kindness. He took the hand of kindness and he knew to pay it on. At the age of 18 he was gone. Born in 1956, his mother came from Ireland, his father from Jamaica. They hadn't been together long. And in those unforgiving times, he didn't find a welcome until those with love and open hearts gave him a helping hand. It was the hand of kindness.
Well, following the music and chat from Martin Simpson, thanks to Joe for that. That was a very full band sound from Michael McGoldrick from an album called Aurora from 16 years ago, and the track was called Free Falling. Next I've got the other track from Colin Banks-Jones, and this one is called Eye to Eye. When he was riding his bike on some of the most remote roads in the world in his end-to-end tour of the Americas, he says he would often disconnect from the outside world for periods of weeks at a time. But whenever he reconnected, he was aghast at what was going on in the world, particularly with almost a new conflict breaking out every couple of months. Eye to Eye was written as a call-out as to why this still happens when we've lived through so many before and have already said never again too many times.
In this stupid life, did we not learn from the errors made in 1945? We keep on going back to war at the call of men who demand that we give everything while they refuse to bend. When will it stop? When will it end? Can we all just live, but not be friends? Where the mothers sigh and the children smile, and we all just learn to see eye to eye. So think about the times that pass and listen to the rain that's been falling from their mother's eyes and should never have fell again. They send them out like plastic men, all in a line. They've been training morning and evening to kill the other line. When will it stop? When will it end? Can we all just live, but not be friends? Where the mothers sigh and the children smile, and we all just learn to see eye to eye. Got to make a change sometime. Why do we delay? There are signs of another war that's going to pass this way. When will it stop? When will it end? Can we all just live, but not be friends? Where the mothers sigh and the children smile, and we all just learn to see eye to eye.
So that was Colin Banks-Jones with Eye to Eye. You can see him playing live on the Peel Beach stage about 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. I've got one last track for you tonight, and it's a request from my mate Mick in Staveley in Cumbria, and it relates to Cigar Field Sobers, who sadly passed away on the 17th of July this year at the age of 89. He was one of the greatest cricketers of all time. Born in Bridgetown, Barbados, he played 93 tests for the West Indies, scoring 8,032 runs at an average of 57.78 and taking 235 wickets at an average of 34.03. I'm sure some people will very much appreciate those statistics. What track can we play in memory of a great cricketer? Well, there is only one. When an Old Cricketer Leaves the Crease by Roy Harper. It doesn't take much to persuade me to play this track, of course. I'll be back next week to play you more great folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and from all around the world, and I do hope that you'll be able to join me then.
When the day is done and the ball has spun in the umpire's pocket away, and all remains in the groundsman's pace for the rest of time and the day, there'll be one mad dog and his master pushing for four with the spin on a dusty pitch with 2 pounds 6 of willow wood in the sun. When an old cricketer leaves the crease, you never know whether he's on. If sometimes you're catching a fleeting glimpse of a 12th man at silly mid-on, and it could be Jeff and it could be John with a new ball sting in his tail, and it could be me and it could be thee, and it could be the sting in the ale, sting in the ale. When the day is done and the ball has spun in the umpire's pocket away, and all remains in the groundsman's pace for the rest of time and the day, there'll be one mad dog and his master pushing for four with the spin on a dusty pitch with 2 pounds 6 of willow wood in the sun. When an old cricketer leaves the crease, you never know whether he's on. If sometimes you're catching a fleeting glimpse of a 12th man at silly mid-on,
ball sting in his tail. And it could be me, and it could be thee, and it could be the sting in the ale, sting in the ale. When the moment comes and the gathering stands and the clock turns back to reflect on the years of grace as those footsteps trace for the last time out of the act. Well, this way of life's recollection, the hallowed strip in the hills, the fabled man and the noonday sun are much more than just yawns of their days. When an old cricket leaves the crease, well, you never know whether he's gone. Sometimes you're catching a fleeting glimpse of a 12-minute cinema, and it could be Jeff, and it could be John, with a new ball sting in his tail. And it could be me, and it could be thee, and it could be the sting in the air, the sting in the air. When an old cricketer leaves the crease, well, you never know whether he's gone. If sometimes you're catching a fleeting glimpse of a 12th man at silly mid-on, and it could be